Hi, Dionne the Priestess here for our weekly oracle session. So let's dive in because we're going to do something a little bit differently. So you may want to place your hand on your heart and just check in with your body. Give your body some love and just thanks. Just say thank you to your body for carrying you throughout your day, for letting you have this human experience. And then just check in. How are you physically? How are you emotionally? How are you mentally? How are you energetically? How are you spiritually? And if you notice anything swirling and twirling around, or you get the feeling that things aren't quite the way you'd like them to be, give yourself permission just to notice that and pack all that swirly twirly stuff up in a suitcase and set it outside of our space for you to look at later or not. As always, I am so glad that you are here. So this weekend we have a Mercury in retrograde period. And what that means, Mercury is the sign that, Mercury is the planet that rules communication. And so obviously, if you're looking at it from an elemental perspective, each of the elements communicates a different way, right? So when Mercury goes in retrograde, you might notice that communication is wonky. You might notice that there's a lot of weird technological things happening, things breaking, things not working as they should, or things just being really slow. A lot of astrologers will tell you that this is not the time to start anything new. And I like to kind of follow that rule. If I'm not starting anything new, if at all possible. However, if I have some things that are already in progress, I like to go ahead and get them, work on them slowly and surely, and invite more grace and ease. And I just say it exactly like that. I invite more grace and ease into my work today. So with Mercury in retrograde, there's kind of 3 stages to remember. There is the pre-show, which we are in the pre-show, and I have been feeling the effects of the pre-show. You get the show, where Mercury is actually retrograde, and then you get the post-show, where Mercury has stationed in the sky direct, but you're still feeling kind of, maybe communication is off balance, maybe just feeling kind of wonky. Now, when I'm talking about communication, it's not just from a different person or from like a job or whatever, any of the relationships that we have in our lives. It's also from the perspective of having those inner communication. So when I said that I'm already experiencing some of the effects of Mercury in retrograde, I've got a lot of inner self-talk stuff that is coming up. For example, there was a situation that happened to me like 10 years ago, and I woke up thinking about that and feeling ashamed and embarrassed because of the way that I handled it. So little things like that where it's just like, why is this coming up? Well, it's coming up to be cleared. So what does that have to do with our weekly oracle? Well, I went ahead and pulled one of Andrea's cards, and that's the Andrea Schroeder from Creative Dream Incubator. And this is her journal cards for magic and insight. And so as I was preparing to film this video and looking over my oracle decks and deciding which one that I felt like we could really work with, I decided to work with this one. And so as we're going into this Mercury in retrograde cycle, we want to be really conscious. And the question that I pulled, that it says, how are you really? So we do this check-in right at the beginning of the video, and I give you an opportunity to kind of see how you're doing on each of those energetic realms. But now I'm asking you, how are you really? You've kind of done that check-in, but how are you really? So take a few minutes here and journal with that, and I've got my journal right here tucked in with my planner, of course. So I'm going to answer that question for myself. And bringing that journaling to a close. Now with Mercury in retrograde, I like to go over the words. Do I need to review any of the goals? I definitely like to review the things that I have in progress. So I'm a crafter also, so I have several knit projects and several crochet projects that are going. So I'm not going to start anything new at this time, but I'm going to review where I'm at with the completion of each project. And if you saw my Hobonichi video, you know that August is complete everything month. So I'm wanting to take a look and see what I need to complete. This is also a good time to rethink. If you've been pushing towards a certain goal, or you've been pushing towards something, maybe pushing forward is not the way that you need to go, or maybe you're not pushing the right direction. So just kind of tune in, give it a rethink, evaluate how you're moving towards your goals if you're not seeing the progress that you want to. So what word would you like to focus on during this 2.5 week period? And bringing that journaling to a close. So I invite you during, especially as we are going into this Mercury retrograde period, to really give yourself the opportunity to check in with yourself, just like we did at the beginning of the video, checking in with all of the elemental realms: physical, the earth realm, emotional, the water realm, mentally, the air realm, energetically, the fire realm, and spiritually, the spirit realm. And then after you get that initial hit of how you're doing, then go deeper. How are you doing really? And really be with that, like answer the question. So for example, you would say, how am I doing physically? Oh, today I'm all right. How are you doing really? I'm a little bit tired today. I started a different kind of workout routine, and so my body is adjusting to that. So I feel like I'm a little bit feeling run down, so I need to give myself some extra sleep. How am I feeling emotionally? Well, because I am tired, I know that I'm a little bit more sensitive. How am I really? What I really want is just to be by myself for a little bit. I haven't been giving myself as much space as I would like to have, just to be me being me. So again, I invite you to take that through all of the realms and then ask yourself, how are you really? I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope this helps you to navigate the next 2.5 week period through Mercury in retrograde. Again, be super, super gentle with yourself. Really make sure that you are speaking kind words to yourself. And if you need a little extra support, I'm going to put the link to last week's Feel Good Friday, because I read the poem To Be Glorious. And that kind of gives you an additional layer of permission and support to get you through the next 2.5 weeks especially. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to do videos next 2.5 weeks, but I just want to give you some extra support. So again, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. And if you think somebody else could value what I'm sharing on my YouTube channel, please be sure to share this video, because that helps other people to find me, and I know what kind of content to create. I am sending you loads and loads of deep love, lots of hearts, lots of support. Be a big hug. And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.